In this video, I'm going to give you a quick review or introduce you to CorelDRAW, a tool that you can use for making some interesting designs using the laser on your step stools. And it's a creative design process, and it's completely up to you, but there are a couple of things that it might help get you started. So if it's been a while since you have opened CorelDRAW, or if you've never opened it up, on your CT laptop on the desktop, you'll find CorelDRAW. Just double click on here and it'll open up. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time, hopefully not too much tonight. So here's CorelDRAW, and I want to, oh, there it goes. Okay, I want to open a new document. And I want to name that new document with my last name. That would be your last name, but typing your last name and then what it is, I'm going to say this is the stool top, because I'm going to decorate the stool top. And I think that's about it. Now you can change the widths to what your top is. I know mine's what, I think it's 9 by 16 inches. I think that's how I designed it. And I'm just going to click OK. Oh, make sure that it says RGB here. That'll save you a lot of headache when you want to change some things around or how you want to tell the laser to work with your designs. Okay, click OK. And now I have my page here. Now it's not the direction I want it, so I'm going to flip this around. I actually want this to be 16, and I want this to be by 9. Okay, and so that's the full surface of the top. So I know that whatever I design is going to fit on the top of my stool. So a couple of reminders. You've got all these shapes over here that are quite helpful. You have this pointer tool that takes you places here and there. This crop tool has an interesting tool that you might want to use, and this is this segment delete. And so if you want to design something that isn't quite a curve or a circle or something, if you want to start cutting things out, then you can use that. I'm going to click that just so I have it available for me. Here's the text tool. Underneath here, underneath the text tool is my measurement tool, and I'll show you how to use those too. And I want to click the little triangle, and I want to choose the vertical or horizontal or vertical dimensional tool. Those are some really important tools that we can use. Another thing that you're going to use quite a bit is this tool right here. When we draw things out, the colors that are important for this are not red. Because remember, red is the color that tells it to cut through the material. And this, the color that you want to pay attention to is blue and black. Okay, so I have decided I want a kind of an outline, a rectangular outline here. Or maybe it's not even a rectangle. Let's see how I want to do this. So, but here's my rectangle, and I'm going to work on the outside of this and then bring things over. It makes things a little cleaner here, so I know I've shaped and done everything I need before I put it on the work surface here. So I'm going to click on a triangle or rectangle, and then I'm just going to come over here, and I'm just going to draw myself. Whoop, that didn't work. Draw myself a rectangle. I know this is 16 by 9. I want this rectangle to be 1 inch inside each of these lines here, each on the inside of my stool. So that would be, so instead of this number, the cross, that's 16 across, 1 inch on each side is going to be -2. So I want this to be 14. And then, oops, okay, I want that to be 14. And then along this side, this is 9 inches, I'm taking off 2 inches on that, so that 9 by 7. Okay. Now, in order for this to etch into the surface of my stool, I need to change this from black to blue. And so I'm going to click on the arrow, and I'm going to come down here at the bottom right where it's this little pen. I'm going to double click on the yellow pen with my mouse. And then under color, I'm going to click on color. And you should see these 3 bars. If you don't see the 3 bars, you see something like that, then click this right here. Okay, and then I'm going to drag this over here until it reads 255. And these 2, red and green, are going to be 0. And then I click the little X here, and that's done. Now, under width, it's not 0.5. I've got to change this to hairline. The etching program knows nothing but red, blue, and black, and it only will cut or etch in hairline on the red and blue. All right, so now I'm going to pull this on over, and I'm going to put it here in the center, and I am not going to leave this to chance. So let's take a look at this horizontal and vertical tool. So, okay, so I'm using my mouse, I'm scrolling in, and I am going to check and see what this measurement is. So this is a little tricky trick. Here we go. I'm going to click on this. I'm going to click on the edge. You see how that turned to show you the word edge. That means you're right on the blue line. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to hold it. I'm going to drag it over to the outside line. I'm going to let go. And then I'm going to pull this down to here so I can read it better. And then I'm going to grab this little point so I can now see it. So I can zoom in. And that says it's at 0.96, but I made it so it's exactly 1 inch. So what can I do? Well, I can leave this here. I'm going to click on the box. So now I have the box outline. This little, I'll show you that a little bit better. So you can see I have the boxes and outlined. Those black squares tells me I've selected the blue box. It's the only thing selected. It's the only thing going to move. And then I'm going to use my arrow keys and just move it over until that reads 1.0. There you go. Now I know that that's exactly 1.0. I'm going to do the same thing on this edge. Okay, I'm going to click on that measurement tool here. I'm going to click on this edge. I'm going to click and hold, drag it to the side. I'm going to let go, and then I'm going to pull this out here so I can see it better. And that too is not in the right place. So I'm going to go back to the arrow, click here on my blue, and now, oh, that's not the blue. There we go. So I can now see that that's surrounding that box. And now I can zoom in a little bit better here and see that number. And now, since it's selected, I need it to go this way. So I'm going to use my up arrow key and get it to 1.0 exactly. And now I know that my blue raster line box is exactly in the middle. It's exactly where I wanted it on my stool. Now I'm kind of wonky here. I don't want to see this. I want to see something different. So I'm going to click under view and I'm going to click zoom to fit. And now it'll bring everything into the center of my screen. I can kind of start playing around again. Okay. I like this, but I want another one. I think I'm going to do another line. So I'm going to click on this. I'm going to click Control C, which is copy. And then I'm going to click Control V, which is paste. Okay. And now I want to just bring that in a little bit, but I'm not sure which one I'm moving. So I'm going to use my arrow keys to move it over just a little bit so I can see which one I'm moving. And maybe move it a little down. All right. A little over, a little down. Let's see. Okay. Ooh, that's kind of even a nice design. That might be kind of fun design to do, but that's not what I want to do. I want to do a double line in here. I want to know what this interior line is. So again, use my tool, click on one edge, click on one edge, hold it to the next edge. I can see right now that that is 0.25. 0.25. So that's a 1/4 inch in. That's nice. So I want to do that with the, whoops, I just put it out over there so I remember it. All right. And now I'm going to take in this box here. This is the one this line, and I'm going to bring this in until it looks about 0.25. Oops, I'm going to need to bring that up a little bit too. 0.25. Let's see. Oops, that's not working. Why isn't that working? Well, we can use our tool. So this is still 0.25, I hope. Yep, okay. So let's make sure that this is 0.25, and I'll do this really quick. That's 0.7. It's not quite that, so click. Oh, hang on. Oh, I'm going to start over. Oh. Okay, so click there. Click on the edge, drag it till it reaches the other side. It says perpendicular. That works, okay. Let go, and then bring it down. And what does that say? Okay, that's 0.75. So I'm going to play around with that edge right here. Okay, click there and get it to be 0.25. I just might need to move it over. So this is going to take a little bit of time. I don't want to waste your time on this video learning how to do that, but you understand it's just going to take you a little bit of time. I can click on that. I can move that over. I can click on this now and drag it over so that it only moves that one side. And then I'll go in and check and make sure those are all 1/4 inches. Okay. Again, view and zoom to fit so I can see what's going on. Okay. Now you got to get rid of these measurements once you're done with them, or they will, they'll block what else you're going to do next. So I can click on that and hit delete, click and hit delete. I wouldn't do it until I'm sure that all these measurements exactly the way I want them. The other thing I want to do is I don't want this to move. So I'm going to group them. So I've clicked on the arrow. I'm going to highlight them both. Okay. I might even need to, I think I can highlight them both. And then under object, group, and then I can group objects. And now these are connected and they should not move. Okay. All right. I want to add an image and I'm going to add a quote. So I'm going to bring up on my screen here a Google search I did. Now, a Google search I did, you guys all know I ride motorcycles. And so I did a Google search, and this is really important. Remember that CorelDRAW and the laser do not see color except for red, black, and blue. And they only will cut out black lined images. So if we were to scroll up here and look at some of these other things, like this is not going to cut out very well. It's mostly black. It's not going to etch as well as you might think. If you have any of these that are images that are pictures, like let me go back to all here, these will not work. There are ways to use other kind of images, and if you just wanted the outline of that image, I can show you how to. We can show you how to do that, or get you to a resource where it shows you how to do that. But pictures don't work very well, but line clip art does. Okay, or lined, and I have found this one that I really like, so I'm going to go back and find it again. So here's a drawing. It's under drawings for me, and then I really like this kind of. Where'd it go? Oh no, did I lose it? I've lost it. Oh, there it is. All right. So here's what I want. I'm going to click this. I'm going to do a right click copy image. And then I'll go back to my CorelDRAW. And then I'm going to click paste, Control V, or right click paste with using your mouse. Which is, actually, I'll paste it out here because that might be, yeah, it's going to be easier. Okay. Oh, it worked in there. Nice. So now I have my clip art in here. And then I found this really cool quote that I would like to put on there too. And I just need, so this black outline will be cut. And then if I go back to my, where I've been doing some searching and stuff in here, let's see if I can find my quote. Ah, there it is. I like this one because the greatest part of the road trip isn't arriving at your destination. It's all the wild stuff that happens along the way. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this, Control copy. I'm going to bring it over to my workspace here. I'm going to go ahead and click paste. I don't want it like this. So paste again. Whoops. I'm not wanting it on my screen here. So let's see. I'm going to drag it out here. I really just want this as a reference so I can write it in text. So text is here, this little this little A right here. So that actually would have been a better idea. So let me do that. I'm going to click on the screen. Don't click and drag a box for text. Just click on the screen and let's see if I did Control V for that. Ah, there we go. That's good. All right. I'm going to make this bigger. And I don't like the font, so let's make it bigger so I can work a little bit better with it. So let's go 36. And then I'm going to make it, let's see. I don't know what suits my fancy this time. There's a lot of fonts in here I like. But for this, what do I want? Ooh, what about that one? It looks cool. Needs to be bigger. Could actually be bolded too. I like that. All right, we'll see if it fits. But I don't like it together, so I'm going to cut this part out because I want to put it top and bottom. But you can kind of see how you get a lot of opportunities to customize whatever it is you want. It'll tell you where you are at the midpoint. So notice I grabbed the center of this. So that X is the center. And then I put it in the midpoint of my work here. I might need to change this text box. It's going to make it smaller. So I got some work to do. But I don't want to do that because it changes the font, but I want to grab the corner so it doesn't change anything. And then I can play around with what this is going to look like. But yeah, you can do a lot of those things. Think about the aesthetics of it, that it'll be on the top. It'll be the part that people stand on or you stand on all the time to reach for things. So maybe there's something compelling about that. But notice you have a lot of different things you can do with this. So happy creating.